the pain of loss before this government can get its act together. This government needs to understand that the cost of living should not outweigh the worth of a life. And at this rate, I can only conclude by saying step 3. Actually advise them to throw in the towel. Ring the bell. Take a look at what just happened recently. 2 men were gunned down in Derek Walcott Square, in the heart of the city, in broad daylight amongst several individuals. Men, women, children, running for their lives. That is the stage that we are at right now. Our streets are no longer safe, and the fear amongst our people continue to grow. Coupled with the fact that we're being victimized in one direction and then shot in the other. Is that the cost of progress? Is that progress? We are sacrificing the safety and security of our citizens for the illusion of development. This government's policies has failed the people, and the ripple effects are being felt in each home and each community. This is the time for change. St. Lucia, we cannot continue down this path. The United Workers' Party has always stood for better governance, for policies that help house and shelter our people, for a vision that prioritizes our health care, our well-being. We understand that healthcare is a right. Safety is non-negotiable, and the cost of living must be manageable for everyone. The time has come for us to save this country and bring it back on track. The United Workers' Party is ready to lead with purpose, to govern with competence, and to restore hope to every St. Lucian. Together we can rebuild this nation and create a future where everyone can thrive. Thank you. And let's hope that we stay strong for when this change does come about.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rush Clark, and you just heard from the United Workers' Party candidate for the constituency of Castries Central. And Rush touched on a number of issues. As you know, the United Workers' Party is on a campaign, and we are promoting an orange protest that has to do with righting a number of wrongs. And so if you want to be part of righting the wrong, you can join in by wearing a yellow armband, by placing a yellow, I keep saying yellow, but it is orange. By placing an orange ribbon on your vehicle, tying an orange ribbon in a tree near your home, wearing an item of clothing that is orange, and be part of that orange protest, because there are many reasons why you should be concerned about what is happening today. You just heard from Rush about a couple of them. We heard about the healthcare system, we heard about the crime in this country, and there are many other issues such as the cost of living, the price of fuel, and the corruption that is taking place in government. Only yesterday, I delivered a letter to the Prime Minister's office indicating St. Lucia's concerns about a number of those issues that I mentioned. And the response from the Prime Minister's office was to call the SSU, indicating that, there was disturbance of some kind. Of course, the police officers came doing their duty, and they realized that there was absolutely no disturbance, there was no hostility, there was no aggression, and they had a word with us and allowed us to continue what we were doing, because we were not disturbing anyone, we were not menacing to anyone. We are a peaceful people, and so far we have been asking St. Lucians to stand up and participate in that orange protest, and it is a silent, peaceful protest to indicate to the government of St. Lucia that we are not happy with what has been transpiring, and that we want an end to all of those injustices that are taking place. The betrayal of trust that is taking place, and the undermining of our quality of life in St. Lucia that has been taking place. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to move to a slightly different subject, but that is very much related, I would like to call on the Deputy Political Leader of the United Workers' Party, Guy Joseph, the former parliamentary representative for Castries South East and former Minister of Government, who will, among other things, present to you on the subject of GPH and what is happening as far as our government and another foreign entity is concerned. Mr. Joseph, please welcome Mr. Joseph.
Thank you very much, Mr. Montut. A pleasant good morning to everyone. I am happy to stand before you this morning to address some very pertinent issues. I have to compliment my colleague, Mr. Rosh Clark, on the subject that he dealt with this morning, which continues to plague us as far as the governance of this country is concerned. And as indicated, there are so many things affecting us. Of note this week to me was the Labour Party Delegates Conference, I believe is what you call it, where the political leader of the Labour Party appears to have had an overwhelming mandate from his people. Now, I must say that the Labour Party practices a very strange democracy. I am not sure how to interpret what they call democracy in the Labour Party. Because you have a party where no one can challenge the leader, yet still you have to vote. You have no other choice but to vote for one person. Now, when an organization practices this type of democracy, you know that this is the democracy that they want to practice in St. Lucia overall. So the attacks on the leader of the opposition, to silence him in the parliament, to get him thrown out of the parliament, to have him under house arrest in the parliament, all of these actions by the St. Lucia Labour Party is to help destroy what true democracy is. And at the same time, so they will tell you, yes, you can vote. You remember Maduro in Venezuela? Yes, you can vote, but you have only one candidate to vote for. You have only one political party to vote for. This is what the Labour Party wants to bring in this country. And that is why in our silent protest, can you imagine going and deliver a letter to the Prime Minister by a former parliamentarian, a well-known figure in St. Lucia, the public relations officer of the United Workers' Party, that the office of the Prime Minister would feel it's okay to call the SSU on those persons? Yet still criminals are roaming this country free and at large. They feel it's okay to shoot people in broad daylight in the middle of Castries. And the Prime Minister indicated to us, he knows everything that is happening in St. Lucia. Why haven't he sent these SSU people to the persons he knows who are involved in the criminal activity? But you going to send SSU or call the SSU for peaceful protests. Mr. Prime Minister, if you want us to step up the protest to another level, we can. But we have chosen the path of peace. We have chosen the path of doing things in a way that is not going to further damage our country. We don't want to follow suit with Matnik and what they have done. And you said we are part of Europe. because Matnik is next door. So maybe St. Lucians need to wake up and take a page from Matnik. But I'm not advocating that. But if you are going to deliver or send the SSU on peaceful protesters, or people, a small group of people, a dozen persons coming to a company dropping off a letter on your behalf, and that is the approach you want to take, then you are almost forcing something on us that we don't want. But I want to tell St. Lucia, we are not going to destroy our country as the Labour Party has had the history of doing. You remember Plywood City? They won elections, they still destroyed St. Lucia. You remember the coupe par coupe? The burning of banana sheds, the chopping down of banana plantations? That was the work of the Labour Party. You remember when there should be no protests and no public gatherings, the gatherings during COVID that facilitated the spreading of COVID and hundreds of St. Lucians losing their lives as a result? All of these have been the work of the Labour Party. But what is interesting to me is that the Philip J. Pierre administration has found a new way of destroying this country. And as I go through my presentation this morning, you would understand. I want you to, as St. Lucians, to investigate the information that both political parties are giving you. Whether the information comes from the St. Lucia Labour Party or the United Workers' Party, you should investigate, you should read, you should research and find out whether this information is credible and reliable. And so, I begin on the issue of GPH, because it is time for us to understand what this government is doing. Will there be a future if Labour Party continues in office for the next 2 years? Will we have a future? challenge the government to say that what I am presenting here today is not factual information. Now, I want you to follow the trend of events. So, because it is time